Today's leg day. So I'm going to take you on a ride. It's a very simple leg day. I like to call these days painfully simple. They hurt, but they're not very sophisticated. You go after pain in a very efficient manner. It's all about max intent in every single rep that you do. A shit ton of weight. A lot of fucking weight. The most weight you can do. Not many reps. Keeping the reps low. So the weight can be directly correlated, right? So you can go heavy. And yeah. Rinse, repeat. On and on. Until it starts translating into the way you look. Okay, so first exercise, we're gonna start with hack squat. Personally, I don't do a lot of warm-ups before getting into my workout. I don't do much mobility work or activations or anything of that sort. I get right into my first exercise. I'm going to do as many warm-up sets as needed on that day in order to have an efficient first working set. The heavier the load, the more warm-up sets I'm going to need, obviously. In this instance, I'm doing 2 warm-up sets. I did one with a plate. I'm going to tackle the second one. And then after that, I'm going to get right into work. And on my first warm-up set, knees have been feeling great today. I just feel like there's no achiness. There's no tightness in my calves. Just everything feels very smooth. So I'm excited to hit this first top set today. We're going for 375. So that's going to be a new weight. And hopefully we're going to crush it. Okay, so far 2 sets out of 3 down. It's going super well. Getting a little more rep, a little more load. I'm on week 3 actually. So it's still early into this block, but it's nothing to complain. It's just a very good block overall. I'm drinking a Rockstar right now. Don't really like the taste. In general, I prefer Monsters, but Helia messed up. She got me the wrong thing. But make do. If you were to ask me the best training supplement, I would say caffeine in a heartbeat. Caffeine is the most ergogenic. It's the compound that's just going to give you the most bang for your buck, especially for what it costs. And it's very well documented. So the creatine is probably your best supplement for overall gains, but caffeine is going to be your best supplement for performance. I like coffee. I drink a lot of coffee, but I only like coffee when it's hot. I don't like drinking hot liquids before training or during my workout. It feels weird. So I rely on energy drinks. This one has 180 milligrams caffeine. So far, it's been doing its trick. I can actually feel the difference when I don't have one during my workouts. It's notable enough that I can feel my performance being jeopardized when I don't have my supplements of caffeine in my workouts. God, that one is harder than it looks. I call it rectus femoris split squat, rec fem split squat. Why? Because it's one of the only situations where you can actually overload the rectus femoris in a lengthened position. Okay, so fully lengthened. Like for example, when you're doing normal squats, like all your vastus quad muscle are being stretched out when your knees bend, but because your hip is flexing at the same time, you're not fully lengthening. The one part of the quads actually inserts and goes across the hip. So because of that, that muscle can be fully stretched out, right? It's not the end of the world, but I like my training to target every portion of the muscle in every position possible. So to have a fully lengthened quads, it wouldn't be like this. It would have to be like this. And that's why when I do my rec fem split squat, I don't do it like on a Bulgarian setup, like with a roller. I actually do it with a box where I can plant my foot on the box and produce force as I'm coming up. And especially also resist tension as I'm coming down. Like I actually pay attention to my back leg and I feel the stretch happening, the lengthening happening across my knee, across my hip. It's kind of a weird feeling in the beginning. It's very disturbing because you got to focus at two things at the same time, right? You got to focus about your front leg, your back leg. When you master this movement, you start light. Like I'm doing one plate right now. I could probably squat 3 plates. But one plate on that exercise, the beginning, actually I had to build up to one plate. So if you're intermediate or novice, you got to start even lighter and just master the movement. In some cases, even body weight. It's going to be all you need. And get used to it. It's a nice way to challenge a different angle on your quads. Relationship with hip thrust is that I'm not really trying to develop my glutes to a significant extent. Like my glutes are already dominant. It's one of my strongest and my most developed muscles. Obviously, like I didn't ask for that. It just fucking happened that I'm a classic physique bodybuilder and the most irrelevant muscle is the one that I'm the strongest at. But regardless, I do like hip thrust because it's one of those exercises you can move a lot of weight. And honestly, it's just I have a lot of fun doing them, and I personally enjoy training glutes. I just can't do it much because it would be wasted the limited amount of effort I have in a week to tackle muscles that need a lot more work. So I keep one, and most of the time it's going to be hip thrust, and I just try to go super heavy at it, and I try in a 6 to 8 rep range. I do 2 sets, only 2 sets, max effort, and now I'm at 450. It's starting to feel serious, and honestly, as little volume as it is, 2 sets, it's so little volume, and for some freaking reason, every day after my leg day, my glutes are destroyed, completely obliterated, even though I do 2 sets. And this I realized with the years is that like the strongest you get, the lowest volume you actually need to destroy your muscle, especially because you're becoming more experienced, so you're capable of like milking more stimulus per rep. And if you tackle those extremely prolific reps with a heavy load, then it just doesn't take much and you're a wreck. So this is my relationship with hip thrust. I try to be stupid strong and they kill me every single time. Why single versus double, 2 legs? Honestly, it's not rocket science. You could do it for symmetry reason if you find like one leg's compensating a lot. Like everybody has a certain level of asymmetry. When I'm with clients and I'll be doing a single leg movement, what I qualified as a significant difference between two limbs performance level is going to be you're doing 10 reps with your left side and then 10 reps with your right side, and your right side has 3 or more reps in reserve for like 0-1 on the left side. That would be something that's significant. I would definitely like assess more thoroughly in order to fix that issue, because it's not going to fix by itself. There's actually things you need to do to resolve that. But for someone that has a pretty similar symmetry, like when it comes to most of my limbs, like my performance is almost equal between both sides. It's going to be 1, maybe 2 reps in reserve tops, and that's not a big deal. When in that case, when everything's even, why do 1 instead of 2 legs? Well, when I bring the intensity very high, meaning the rep starts becoming low, like anything under 8 reps, like in this instance, I'm doing 6 to 8. When you go super heavy, it's hard to make sure you're not compensating by one side, just to alter your leverage. So I like using single leg so that you know if it's 8 reps, it's 8 freaking hard reps without cheating by using one limb instead of the other, or by twisting a little bit. Like there's nothing you can do when it's just one leg curling the pad. So that's one of the rationale that I employ when it comes to like single leg movements. The heavier the load, the more I'm going to be leaning toward a single leg variation. Same thing for leg press. Same thing for pull downs. All right, folks, this is almost the end of my leg day. Like I said, super simple. I'm trying to keep these episodes as condensed as possible. So stay tuned. I'll elaborate in the future, more to come. Thank you for joining the ride.